Hey y'all, Michelle Raza here with the Finding Yourself Book Club, and today we're going to continue talking about John Gottman's What Makes Love Last. We've been talking about Attunement Made Easy, the art of intimate conversation. So last video we talked about how to feel your feelings, which I think one, 5 to 10 minute video on this is probably not going to get you there if you're really struggling. So that's where a therapist can help. We can also coach you along the way with some of the excellent guidebooks that we have. Please do check out our website if you haven't already. We're at www.findingyourselfsatx.com. And without further ado, I'll dive into the next section here, which is asking open-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions. Avoid queries that your partner can punt with single words such as yes or no, which kill conversations before they even start. Instead, pose questions in ways that require a deeper response. Replace, "Did you have a good day at work?" with, "So, what was it like at work today?" Instead of, "Did you like the movie?" try, "What did you think of the movie?" Or, "What was the best part?" And rather than a simple, "How's the new mystery you're reading?" which of course could be answered like, "Good," ask how it compares to the author's previous work. This technique doesn't apply just to everyday exchanges, but also to conversations about significant issues. "Are you upset?" can close off further discussion, but "You seem upset. What's going on?" will encourage it. So this is where I touched on two videos ago. John Gottman has the Gottman Institute. He has Gottman trained therapists. Like it's like a whole thing, right? It's not just one book that he wrote. He's written a bunch of works. But you can download for free off, I'm sure they have it on iTunes as well, but I'm an Android user. Off the Google Play Store, you can download the Gottman card decks. And so there you have decks that list open-ended conversations. So if you want to try those with your partner or even just a friend, they have date night questions that are a little bit more lighthearted. They have questions for doing love mapping, which is one of the 7 principles of making marriage work, which I will give you guys a sneak peek on. I'm going to cover the stress-reducing conversation in one of the upcoming videos here. So really, I mean, asking open-ended conversations, it sounds super easy, but it's actually quite hard. I know that typically you get into kind of like a cadence with your partner, right? "Hey, how was your day?" "Good, good. What about the kids?" And then you spend a lot of time, if you've been in a long-term relationship, you'll spend a lot of time just kind of discussing logistics, like, "What are we having for dinner? Did you know Mary has a piano recital this weekend? John has guitar lessons," So it's like, you're talking a lot all day, every day with your partner, but you're not actually getting to know each other. And that's why dating is so fun, because when you date someone, you kind of have separate lives, and then you come together and you get to discuss your dreams, your inspirations, your aspirations. And once you're in a long-term relationship with someone, it kind of becomes more humdrum because you're just talking the logistics of life and not really having those conversations anymore. And so that's why Gottman really pushes us to focus, like, you need to have a date night, periodically need to have a date night, right? Budgets are all over the place. Some of us can afford once a week. Other people have parents that come in and help, right? And so that you can afford to go out often. But even if it's just once a month, if it's every 2 weeks, if you can find another couple and then you guys can trade off, so that one weekend you and your partner can go out and the next weekend you have a full house full of kids, but then the other couple can go out so that they can focus on their relationship. It's just very hard in our lives. We're really busy and most of us work, so you have 2-parent households that are working full-time. Both parents are working full-time. If you're dating, it's even worse, right? Because you're a single parent trying to pay all the bills and then also find time to date. So none of this is easy. He's not trying to oversimplify it by giving you these easy formulas, but it's very important to focus on each other and to remember to continue to date. right? Even after you've been in a long-term relationship and a lot of your conversations are logistical, you need to take that hour once a week or every 2 weeks or a month to have those open-ended conversations with each other. And he does recommend, so the State of the Union is once a week. You don't have to go out on a date for it. It's just a conversation that you need to have, and preferably sober. So if you're going to go out for drinks, it's before you go out for drinks. It's you start with 5 compliments on what you like about what's going on, and then you move on to talk about the problems. And this book will go into the details of, it's called the State of the Union Address. But if you'd like to check out, they have this blog called Small Things Often, where they have shorts. Every blog is less than 5 minutes, and they go through how to have that State of the Union. And the formula is actually very easy, but it's like building up to it to even make sure that you're both receptive and willing to have those conversations. I know with me and my partner, we've had lots and lots of discussions about, it can sometimes go down to like, well, you're not using Gottman, so I'm not going to listen to you. And so it can even get a little over the top, like it's more about learning how to communicate with each other, not necessarily always following the formula. So I think I deviated just a little bit, but asking open-ended conversations, so trying to rephrase the questions that you ask each other at the end of the day so that they can't be answered with a simple yes, no, good, that type of thing. And this, if you have teenagers, I'm not sure if it'll help, right? Because teenagers are usually a little bit more closed off about wanting to discuss their inner world, but learning how to ask open-ended questions, and especially refraining from criticism at all when anyone answers those questions will be really helpful to you. And that's where the chapter on the 7 principles of making marriage work, when we go into that one, that's where that will really help, because John tells us exactly what not to say to shut down conversation, which you think, depending on how old you are, right? You've been talking since you were about 2 or 3, and so you're talking decades of having conversations, but a lot of us have been doing it wrong for a really long time, including me, right? So when I first started learning about this stuff, I was like, oh wow, and I was skeptical, but I just started practicing it, and the results that I saw were so amazing that I really became a believer, and that's part of why I'm here talking to you today. So, okay, next video we will continue on the 3rd step of the 4 steps of attunement. I hope you guys have a great day. Look forward to talking with you tomorrow.